So first at noon, we're expecting to be able to hear from officials in Catawba County this afternoon regarding the weekend's mass shooting. So the suspect in this case, you're seeing right here, 20-year-old Garen Nathaniel Killian, was in court today. This is a look at that very brief hearing where the bond was set for $200,000. Queen City News anchor Savannah Rudisell live now at the Catawba County Courthouse. Savannah, you have now with what the latest is, what came out of today's hearing.
Yeah, that's right, Alicia. $200,000 for that bond for Killian. If he is convicted on the charges, again, one charge right now of attempted first-degree murder, he faces a maximum of 40 years in prison. Now, this is important to note that this was just a pretrial bond hearing, right? That was mostly only the discussion about was whether or not he would be eligible to post bond. And the judge asked him very specifically at this time, or at the time that you were accused of committing this shooting, were you out on probation? At that point, he said no. However, attorneys for the state, they interjected, made it very clear to the judge that he was on pretrial release for a shooting in Hickory that was back in April. Now, at that point, Killian was charged for 7 counts of attempted first-degree murder and several other counts of assault with a deadly weapon. That has not come to trial just yet, but he had been released on bond. Again, that was a shooting in April in Hickory. As far as the shooting that he's connected to this latest time, this is in Catawba County, just outside of Hickory limits. On Sunday, shots started going off around 12:45 in the morning at a pool party. Officials tell us now they estimate that between 80 to 100 people were there, 11 people injured either in that shooting or in the melee that followed after, people trying to get away from there. One person had died at the scene. We also learned here today in court that there were about 50 shots at least into the pool area and in towards the house. Officials tell us now that they believe that the shooting started actually up from a hill. The shooter was in an elevated position from the neighbor's backyard, shooting towards the people in the party. Again, they have not released a motive as of just yet. And they also say that they conducted several search warrants, carried all of those out on Tuesday. That led to one arrest, which involves Killian, and they say they anticipate several more arrests to come out of this case. Once again, this is a $200,000 bond. At this point, he would not be allowed, if he posts this bond, to have any weapons, any contact with any potential victims. And the state attorneys also asked for the judge to consider putting him on an electric monitoring system, setting a curfew for him anytime from 7 p.m. until 6 a.m., as well as surrendering his passport. Now, Killian said that he did not have a passport at that time, but the judge said, again, this is something they'll check into and make sure that he would follow these conditions of the bond should he post it. Once again, not a trial hearing. So when the judge was asking many questions, do you have anything to say about this potential bond? He said it would be great if I got it, but I would understand if not. He also began to say, I apologize for my involvement in this situation, to which the judge cut him off and said, we're not here to talk about charges. We're not here to talk about what you're accused of, truly just bond. So we understand there's going to be more to come out of this much later. After that hearing was over, I spoke to a friend of Killian's who says that she's not quite sure what happened, and she's hoping that her friend wasn't involved. Our Robin Kennedy is going to have a breakdown of that sound for you coming up a little bit later this afternoon on Queen City News. We also expect to hear more from officials starting around 2:30 this afternoon. Again, all those details will be posted online at qcnews.com and right here on air. Reporting live in Catawba County, Savannah Rudisell, Queen City News.
Savannah, thanks for your detailed coverage there. Of course, a lot of people very concerned as to how he's out on bond right now, and hopefully we'll be getting more answers on that. There is going to be a news conference. It's going to be held around 2:30 this afternoon. We will bring you that live.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.